Hi, I'm Linda Deir.
And I'm Ray Holly. Welcome.
Tonight,
Welcome to the first day of spring.
the first day of spring.
You know what that means?
What?
Everybody here in Phoenix can put their socks and jackets away. We won't need them again until next winter.
Well, it's true.
I saw in the news it's going to be 90 degrees tomorrow or the next day.
Oh no, Ray.
Yeah.
Not already.
Giving us a taste of summer when it's 120.
See, yeah, no kidding, you guys. That's right. So we actually don't feel so lucky. Tonight, you will experience what it's like in a personal angel coaching session with me, where you can speak to your guides. Ray will post the link, Angel Coaching with Linda. And all coaching sessions are done on Skype or over the phone. I'm the author of Guided, winner of the 2017 Body, Mind, Spirit International Book Award. And Ray will post that link as well. Are you posting your little heart out or what, Ray?
Fast as my little fingers can click this little mouse.
Thank you, Ray. And my guided journey is the companion journal to my flagship book, Guided. It's my fourth book and a free download on my website at lindadeir.com. And that link is located on the homepage. You'll find it there where it says free download. Ray's going to go ahead and post that link so it'll be convenient for those of you who don't have this already.
It's important to have the journal.
Oh yeah, once you read Guided, this is my journey. This is how I did it. This is your journey, my guided journey. This is how you do it. And we have the videos to support each page of part 2, which is where you actually take the journey. And without those videos, you probably wouldn't get it, all right? But those videos make it possible. So you want to watch those first. We are on part 2, page 18. There's 18 pages in part 2. We're on the last one today, okay? But that doesn't mean that's the last time you're going to see us. We're here every Tuesday, and you'll understand that by the end of this session today, how that's going to work. We're on part 2, page 18 of My Guided Journey. You are not alone, and the present moment is your future. The guides will be talking about the possibilities available to you now that you know who you are. Now that you have completed the journey back in part 2 of My Guided Journey, you are prepared to take on part 3, My Journal Writing. You have acquired the skills from watching the video associated with each page in part 2, along with documenting your early life of feelings and decisions. Having restored your life while developing this skill is what will carry you forward in part 3, the journal writing. This greater awareness of yourself and the skill will also keep you in the present moment and connected to us, your spirit guides and angels. We use Ask the Universal channel for your guides to communicate to you their messages, and Ray's the one they assigned to speak out their messages on this board. Ask the Universal channel is a trademarked product of our parent company, Channeled Readings. And Ray just posted the story of Ask the Universal channel for you guys to take a look at later. It's really interesting how this came about. It's something that came through me. It's something that came to me from the guides in 1988 in December. And it's interesting how this came about and why this even exists, okay? And it was a request from my guides to bring this into this world. So
30 years ago.
Yeah, it'll be 30 years ago that happened in December. So it's an interesting story. Okay, Ray Holly, are we ready?
Yeah, we have people flooding in.
All right, you guys.
Everybody, don't be bashful. Say hi, everybody.
We're going to channel the opening message from the guides on the topic today, and then they're going to prompt you to start asking your questions, okay? asking your guides what they see as the most important thing for you to know right now. And like always, we start with the breath. We always start anytime you want to reach your guides. That was good, Ray. Did you yawn?
Almost.
And I just caught that breath. That's the breath you want to catch. It's the one that feels like a yawn, okay? When you catch it, it just releases all the tension in your upper body, and it lets you make that connection with your guides, and here they go.
Hello, everyone. We have an important message for all of you tonight. Once you realize that you are not alone, things change. You begin to understand.
Something's rattling, sorry.
Your chair, it's okay. You begin to understand we have always been there. We never have left your side. Once you know we are always there, you will never feel lonely again. Feeling lonely means nobody cares, but we care. We are here. What is received on your part from us are many things. Once you have dedicated alone time, quiet time each day that you set aside with the intention of communicating with us. Next, you just have to focus. Focus on the present moment, the now. Next, you must breathe deeply, for it is the breath that opens all communication to us and the universe. Next, you must listen. Listen for the whispers, as we never shout at you like the world around you. Next, you must write down everything you hear, regardless of if you think it was insignificant or not. By writing everything down, you ground it into your world, and it becomes real. The only part left is for you to act on the guidance that comes through. It's in the application of the guidance and wisdom that you create an entire new routine in your life.
Okay. So you get all this great information. You're so proud of yourself after all the work that you go through, taking the journey in part 2 through all 18 pages after you watch each video associated with those pages. And you actually are able to do that. You're able to connect with your guides. You get the guidance. You write it down. You have it all together. Except that very last part, where it takes action to bring that guidance into fruition, where it has an impact on your life, okay? And it's because you're used to thinking that you're in control. You're used to thinking that all this time it was you that brought your successes, and certainly your failures.
A lot of times you think some of those ideas even came from you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially the brilliant ones.
You know what it's
Well, yeah,
like?
that must have come from me.
Do you know what this is like? It's like, here's what it's like. It's like something really good happens. You've got a partner of some sort, or you work for a company, but you came up with the idea, or the idea came through you, okay? And you brought that to the company, or the wherever you work, or the partnership, or whatever. And you brought it to the forefront, and everyone's going, my God, that's brilliant. I love that, right? And then it works out, and everybody else takes the credit for it. That's the same thing as when you get guidance, or you get a great idea, or something for yourself, and it works out really well, and you take all the credit for it. Your guides are sitting back going, that's interesting. It looks like they missed it, even though they got it and they acted on it. The next time, the likelihood of them getting this guidance and it being clear without the ego's involvement is less likely that it's going to be clean information, because they're already mucking it up with thinking it came from them, or came from you, right? So I always think that's pretty interesting. I've got stories about it where I experienced it in my 20s in my flagship book, Guided, and I talk about that, and where I observed it in the building business. It was amazing. So, and it still goes on all the time, because people aren't conscious. They're not aware of everything that's going on. They're just aware of their little world right here in this world, you know? The same thing applies when you don't follow your guidance, and then things don't work out, and you take all the blame. Okay, you know, it's not, you got thrown off track way back here when you were little, when you were small, that kept you from taking action on the guidance, and not thinking that you were good enough, you know, and all these confusing feelings that you had that put you in a corner, so to speak. So you didn't know better. It all started back when you were a kid. Again, that's the whole purpose in taking the journey back in part 2 of my guided journey. It clears all that up and watching the associated video before you take the journey on each page. Critical to this to the success of your journey. All right.
So today's page 18, we've come full circle. You've gone from connected when you were a baby, when you came in here as a new person, to getting lost, and then being connected again.
Right, you do. Right, Ray. Absolutely. Right. It takes you right back to a fresh, brand new start, is what it does. A second chance.
Didn't take you long to get lost, did it?
You mean me?
No, anybody.
Well, no, Ray, because life throws you off, you know. The pressure in this world is so great that before you know it, you're pulled into it, and you forgot who you are. You just pushed all that away. Who you were when you came in, the guides who were here to guide you, you know, everything that was working naturally, not something you had to learn and really apply yourself to conform, you know, to do all that. You came in with it. It was natural. There was never a separation until you decided there was, and that's where it all started getting mucked up. So it's not that it's gone anywhere. It's all right there.
like children, these adults get in the way of these children learning things. They want children to see the world as they see it. Why don't we just let the children see the world as they see it?
Well, that's the point. Yeah, that it's the adults that the system has been set up to have it the other way around, where the children are required to conform. All right, instead of listening to them, and maybe they've got something interesting to tell us. Yeah. So, Ray, do we have any?
We don't have any questions yet. Don't
You
be bashful,
guys.
everybody. Okay, so this week we're talking about, we've gone all the way through 18 pages,
Yeah.
and we are back to being reconnected and knowing that you are not alone.
Okay.
And this week's insight was your futures in the present moment, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and
The present moment is your
it
future.
is your future. Okay. So Ray's talking about Linda's weekly guided insights, and you probably want to get those. They're on my website, all over my website, where you can sign up for free, and you get those on Tuesdays. So when you get them on Tuesday, you can ask questions around that insight that you got that day, that night, when we're here live on Facebook Live on Tuesdays.
Almost like we planned it like that.
I know. So it's pretty good. But tonight, you guys, what you could ask about, just if you're having troubles trying to figure out what you want to ask and how you do it and stuff like that, this is real similar to having a coaching session with me where your guides come in and talk to you. And I always start out with a question like this. What do my spirit guides and angels have to tell me that as the most important thing for me to know in my life right now? What's the most important thing for me to know? Okay? And so if you ask a question that's not a leading question, you don't have an outcome in mind, you're not trying to force an answer, you're out of the way.
Not a yes, no.
It's not a yes, no, right. So you're asking a question that would get a quality answer, all right?
Yes, Kate, you can ask right here. Kate's new. You're amongst friends, a bunch of like-minded people here, Kate.
Yeah.
Okay, Marla has a question.
Okay.
What do the guides say about me moving out of Los Angeles? Is there a place that is better for me energetically and a better place to live?
Okay. Okay, like always, Marla knows this because Marla uses her talking board all the time. But it's good to get somebody else to channel the information for you sometimes because you know you're out of the way. We don't have an interest in what that answer is going to be for her, okay? So that's a clear perspective. So Ray, are we ready to let her guides come through? And Marla, your spirit guides and angels are here with us now. And they're going to answer that question, and here they go.
Marla, you feel a wanderlust in your life. We do see you moving somewhere for two reasons. One, safety and cost of living. In the future, as times get tough, you don't want to be around people who are all stressed out economically. You want to feel safe. You also would like to have a lower cost of living along with that safety.
So Marla, if you have any other questions around that, go ahead and ask it. Ray will see it in the stream and your guides will get back on that for you, okay? So what else do we have, Ray?
Okay, Veronica, she has a question about the ask step, part 2.
In my guided journey in part 2, the second page is how you ask, okay? And what that means is, how do you ask your guides a question? How do you form it? What is their form of communication? What's the best way to communicate that to them? All right?
A lot of people have had trouble with that page. I think people are have an aversion to asking for help.
They're ashamed to ask. It's a weird thing, okay?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to ever ask for help, or you're not supposed to ask a question because it makes you stupid. People think you're stupid, or you weren't paying attention, or it's something wrong with you. And that's the perceived notion from society, all right? It's completely not true. I've always been a real pain in the neck for people that are around me. If they say something and I don't understand it, I ask them what they meant by that. And sometimes they'll look at me and they'll give me a look like they're smarter than I am. And I'll go, that's okay with me for you to think that. But I'm still going to ask. I'm going to ask until I know the answer. In part 1, chapter 2, talks about the part where I asked, okay? And that's when my guides actually came through physically all around me. Now that's some pretty powerful response to an ask, especially from a 20-month-old baby, okay? So what I'm really driving toward here is, if you ask with the heart of a child, if you ask with the pure intention of a child. I was in shock, and I couldn't believe what was happening, and it was like my knee-jerk reaction. The next thing to do was, without even thinking, was to ask, okay? So you really started to do it, Veronica, when you were really small. I mean, as small as I was, 20 months old. And whatever gets in your life, when you take the journey in part 2, and you start to go back, you start moving back. You don't have to start with page 1. A lot of people don't. They start further into like 14, 15 something, and then they go back, okay, and they meet up with page 1. It's like the bully effect. At that point, you know, you've gotten a lot of your answers, and you're rewinding your life, and you're going, okay, I see where that started. I got it. I even remember the first time I asked, and most of the time when you first asked, it happened through shock, through fear. You asked because you were scared. That's how you asked, okay? So let's see what the guides have to say about that asking and how you would do it now at this stage in your life, okay?
Children don't have any qualms about asking. In fact, they are sometimes called question boxes and get on the nerves of adults. Questioning is the way you obtain additional information in order to make decisions. By asking a series of questions, you can narrow down the clarity you need.
Okay, and I'm going to say this too about the asking. You need to write down what they just said. You need to write down, you know, what you're asking. Because if you don't, you won't be able to remember first what you asked for. And when the information comes to you, you won't recognize it as the answer. I promise you that. So you have to write down all the little pieces of guidance along with what you ask. And you'll see how they start to meet up with each other, how they start to breathe together. In fact, as you're asking the question, the answer will start to come through. You're writing, okay? That's how clever they are. So a lot of times when you ask, you don't ask, or you may not think it was a asking thing where you had to write it down. But asking happens just by wondering about something. If you want to know if wondering fits into the asking criteria in that whole, you know, in that genre, it does. Wondering is asking. So you write down what you're wondering about as well as what you asked. Because now the universe has what you asked for, what you wondered about, what you're contemplating, you know, all the things that are going on in your head, and they're answering each one. But you don't even know what goes with what. You've got to write it down. You can't see it until you write it down, all right?
That's what the guide said earlier. Once you write it down, it becomes grounded in this world.
They said that in the opening message.
Yeah, in the opening message.
Opening message. So, you may want to listen to this video again, you guys, when we're done.
And write it down.
So you can really connect with this, because it's, you know what it is? It's so easy. The only thing you have to do is you have to do your part in doing the writing. You have to write down these things, because your intuitive muscles have atrophied. You haven't used them. So now, as you do this, as you write it down in your journal, all right, you're building your intuitive muscles up, okay? And pretty soon, you'll ask or wonder about something or contemplate something. Boom, the answer will be right there. Boom, boom, boom. It'll just be constant. You know what that's called? That's called telepathy. And that's the language that your spirit guides and angels prefer. That's the language they use to speak to each other. So once you hook into that, you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run. This is how you're going to do it. All right?
Okay. Everybody wants to know what's the thing they need to know. Right now.
You guys are so cute.
You catch on right away.
I love you
Look
guys.
At that. Okay,
that is the best. It's the cleanest question.
It is. It is a clean question.
Think about it, you know.
Melanie. Okay, Melanie, you're next. Melanie Clayton Buchanan. What is the most important thing for me to know right now, this time?
That's great, Melanie. And your spirit guide angels are here with us now, and they're going to answer that question, Melanie. And here they go.
It's important for you to focus on health. Although you are young, it's your health that becomes your wealth over the next few decades. If you want to be of service to others, you must be able physically to do so.
That's interesting. So there's something going on with you where maybe life is going fast, and you're neglecting some things that you need to do for yourself as a rule, as an ongoing discipline.
Or you think that youth is going to carry you through.
And it does. It really does. But you need to fortify yourself, with good supplements, healthy food, and really lots of rest as you're going through all this. And exercise. Always exercise. No, even if it's for 15 minutes, have a routine that you do that makes you feel relaxed and good. But it also works you out. You've got to do it, you guys. Otherwise, we learn all this stuff. We get to the best part of our life, and then we run out of gas. We run out of runway. All right. So it's real important to keep that together. Keep it all together.
Okay. Veronica had a comment. She feels that the guides have shown themselves when she was not asking. They do that.
That's right.
But just in a wonderful appreciation of nature, like out in nature.
Right.
That's one of the places that you're walking your dog through the park, or you're walking through the woods.
So let's ask it, and it's specific to Melanie. Veronica. Specific to Veronica's comment about her recognizing you were there. Comment on that.
Yes. We are always there. It's only when you are relaxed or in the moment that we can get through easily.
Yeah. So in your particular case, Veronica, here's what I'm getting with this, is you're not as uptight and stressed out as you used to be. And they've like they say, they've always been there, but now you're more there, present moment, all right? Now you're more present. And so they're going, oh, this is really wonderful. We can finally subtly start connecting with her and speaking a language that she's going to understand as we guide her in the direction that is she came here to take on, the life she intended to include in this lifetime, all right? the one that you're in now. So it's great. Just keep writing it down. Whatever comes through, Veronica, write it into your journal. That would be part 3, okay, the journal writing part. And you can print as many of those pages as you need, so you'll never have to.
You never have to buy another journal.
You wouldn't. No, you would never have to buy another one again. It's
That's
all
it.
there. It's
Most
really,
of the time people buy a journal and they write in it for a year and
Well,
they gotta go buy another one.
well, they don't even know how to use it, Ray. They're not sure. Oh, bless you, Ray. You're
Spring allergies already. First day of spring allergies.
And if anybody's going to get it, he's going to get those allergies, you guys. It's okay, Ray Holly.
I came from Austin, the allergy capital of the world.
You did. Whew.
Okay, we have another question. Venus. Venus, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Venus.
She's very special.
She's very special. Wow. Don't have words for that. I mean,
Guided changed her life.
yeah, she's really something, though, Ray. So,
Guess what she wants to know?
what does she want to know, Ray?
What is the most important thing for her to know right now?
You really touched Ray's heart, Venus. I mean, we read your message last night, and it was seriously powerful. Give me a napkin, Ray. Dag nabbit. See what you started, Venus? Dag nabbit. And you know, one thing about this with your guides, when you have this connection to your guides, your heart is open. It's really the only way that you can have this strong connection. And when your heart is open, things like, you know, your feelings, and when they come to the top, you can't, you know, how we're accustomed to hiding how we really feel, and, you know, don't let anyone see. It looks weak to people or whatever. It's not at all. It's the consequence of having this connection to your guides. And that's just the way it is. And I know that Venus knows this. I know she does. She learned it the hard way.
Yep.
Okay, and here they go.
Venus, what's most important for you right now is to have discipline in your life, develop a healing routine that becomes a habit that you never break.
Wow. Okay. No, I'm good. See what you started, Venus? Okay. Venus is amazing, you guys. We can't tell everything, but she's unbelievably
Somebody
amazing.
got Venus the book.
Yes.
Guided.
Yes. And by the way, for those of you that have read or listened to Guided and you haven't left a review yet, please do that for me, okay? From wherever you got it.
It's the reviews that help.
Other people find the book.
Right, and so they can heal.
Yeah, it's real important. So I really appreciate that, okay?
Okay. Jane's with us. Jane. Guess what Jane wants to know?
She wants to know, what do my guides...
Most important thing for her to know right now.
I love this. It's a good, safe question until you guys learn how to feel safe in these Tuesday meetings where you have a question. Like Marla came through, bang, she asked this question out of the blue sky, right? But she has a board and she knows how to work with this. So she knows how this all, she's not afraid to ask a question. You might say that she's advanced at this, so she's good. So you're going to learn how to step into asking other questions too, but we're going to answer that question. Say it again, Ray. What's her name?
It's Jane.
Jane.
And Jane would like to know, what's the most important thing for her to know right now?
Perfect question, Jane. And your spirit guides and angels are going to answer that. And here they go.
We would like to see you stop being so hard on yourself. Give yourself a break. You are your worst critic.
Ooh. Okay. Cut that out, Jane. Okay, and how are you going to do that? You're going to go back in part 2. You're going to take the journey. There's 18 pages in part 2. You're going to watch the video associated with each one of those pages before you start writing in it. And you're going to find out what caused you to be this way, okay? And when you find out what it was way back there when you were a little kid, what decision you made that you've been taking with you ever since, right? You're going to see that and go, you're going to look at it and go, oh, it won't be right here anymore. It won't be confusing. It'll be downloaded. You will have written it into part 2. You will look at it and go, I see what it is. I see where that started. And so I can release it. I can let that go. And then guess who you meet? You meet the Jane who originally came here equipped, fully equipped to take on this life and live the life you intended with the help of your guides guiding you every step of the way. That is what you're going to come out with. Not confusion and being stuck over here. No. And we all are in some way. There's something back there that needs healing for everybody.
Okay. Next question. Same question, different person.
I love this.
Kate, it's your turn. Please ask the question for me as well as what is the most important thing for her to know right now. Kate's also new with us.
And Kate, anytime you work with your guides, always do the breathing first. When you ask that question, release the tension, okay? In your body, release it in the upper body, let it go, all right? And then grab that breath, that yawn, get your body moving, get your energy back up high so your guides can reach you when you have these questions on your own, in your day life, in your night life, whatever, okay? Your guides are here with us now, and they're going to answer that question, and here they go.
Kate, what's the big hurry? Why do you feel rushed that you have to be somewhere and then somewhere else and then do this and then do that until it gets frustrating? We want you to slow down and prioritize what you need to do versus what you want to do.
Okay. So you're trying to do it all. And it's not a productive way for you to operate. They see that you are overextended. That's what they see.
On your time.
Yeah, exactly, on your time.
People can be overextended on their money. That's what they usually think about when they're overextended. But you can be overextended on your time, which is more important than your money.
Right. That is true.
Okay. Veronica, again, so the first time I asked, was I just appreciating nature? When she asked, when they were there, she sensed their presence. Nature is something that puts you into the state where you can hear us, especially if you go outside barefoot. It's a natural connection to the earth, which is connected to the galaxy, which is connected to the universe.
So yeah, it's good to do.
Nature's good.
Yeah.
If you live someplace where there's a park nearby or woods or the ocean.
You did it because it feels good to you. So it's a natural fit. Bring a little something to carry, like a little bag.
If you have your phone with you, you can always take notes on your note application or speak it into your phone if you have a brilliant blast of creativity.
Write down what's coming through, all right? Be prepared to hear those subtle messages. They're not screaming at you, all right? They're subtle messages. They're knowings, little chunks of downloads of information coming through. And it's a natural ability We all have it. It's our antenna picking up on that information. So you're just slowing it down. You're letting yourself open up, and you are receiving peace at this point, which is overdue. And I know it's overdue for you. And then other things will start coming as you keep, going into that, and you allow yourself to have that. What do we have there?
We have some more questions.
Yeah.
You won't believe what they are. Linda Baca Goodwillie. Hi, Linda. Linda's my favorite name. Linda and Ray, one of my guides and angels, want me to know that's the most important thing in my life right now at this very moment.
Isn't that the best question?
It is a good question.
It's so present. It's so now. That's what's good about it. And it's clean. It's not leading. And you don't know what to expect. How fun is that, all right? Okay, take a breath. Take a breath. Breathe. And I mean breathe. When you guys do this and you ask that question, you wonder in your own mind, you'll find yourself doing this when you're driving to work. What's the thing I need to know right now? What's the most important thing I need to know right now? And you let it go and let it come to you. You will be surprised how much it works, all right? Or before you go to bed at night, what's the most important thing for me to know right now before I go to sleep? Okay, let me know what that is. And then be ready to write down what came through in the morning or in the middle of the night. Have this next to your bed. Okay, and here they go.
Linda. Okay.
All right, Linda.
We would like you not to chase things. Look at anything in your life that you are chasing. You can chase money, you can chase happiness, you can chase relationships, but the chasing takes more energy than just allowing. Allow things to appear in your life. If you are chasing anything, you have a goal in mind. It's been taught for decades that you must have goals, but a goal requires an ending, a certain outcome, which you may or may not achieve. If you don't achieve it, you are disappointed, or may even think that you weren't good enough to reach it. If you do achieve it, you are not as happy as you thought, because you think, what did I leave on the table? Did I shoot too low on my goal?
Yeah. And we have been taught to, write down what your goal is and, what it's going to take to get there. And it's all competitive. It's all based on getting ahead. It's all based on, pushing someone else out of the way to, it's a rat's race is what it is. So
that's an interesting phrase. I've always found that phrase to be quite odd. Getting ahead.
Of what?
Of who?
Of who? Right.
Who are you trying to get ahead of? You're trying to push everybody else behind you? I mean, people will even say that if I have say they're in sales, I have a good year in sales, and I'm the top salesman or salesperson, then I'm better than all those other ones. That's what they mean by getting ahead, I guess.
Yeah.
Or having a bigger house, or a fancier car, or
I know.
Taking more vacations, or
yeah, we get lost in that. We get caught up in it,
People take a lot of vacations because they're running away from their life.
Yeah, because you're trying to get away. You're not trying to get ahead. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's
Okay, interesting comment from Melanie. What they say? They told Melanie she should be watching her health.
oh right. Even though she's young.
Yeah, even though she's young, and she was just diagnosed with CRPS. I don't remember what that is, but she just got a diagnosis.
Wow. So you have a health issue come up recently, and they brought that up about your health.
How did they know that?
They know, Ray. They just do. Because they're with you all the time, all right? So, yeah.
Okay. Jane, smiley face with tears. Venus, my internet is messing up.
Oh,
The internet is always messing up.
it is.
It gets slower every day.
It does. No one's
We live in a
talking about it.
neighborhood where there's a lot of gamers, so at night sometimes it just goes to a crawl. Kate Mel says, the books are wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. Venus is back. Thank you. Welcome back.
Good, Venus. Great.
Jane, I've got it. I've already started the videos, watching the videos and journaling.
Oh, good. Oh, good. And Jane, we want to hear about your progress. I don't mean just Ray and I. I mean everybody that attends this. They all need support from each other. That's why we do
Right.
this too, right? So we all want to, in any part of my guided journey, any part that you guys are working on, part 2, part 3, where you do the journal writing, whatever it is, bring it to the table. Bring it on Tuesdays. We're here every Tuesday, and let's talk about it. Let's get in there, because we have more questions from you guys than that one. Although that one is always good, you know.
There's a lot of people that are just like you. They're going through the same things you are. You can
Yeah.
make friends in the group.
Yeah.
You know, they'd like to hear from you. We have some new people coming in.
Okay.
Mimi Baker. Hi, Mimi.
Hi, Mimi.
Teresa Conky Diaz.
Yes.
Thank you for
Teresa.
your wonderful review of Guided.
Yes, and thank you for your support, Teresa. She's amazing.
Bridget.
Yeah.
Bridget's with us.
Bridget's a world traveler.
She is a world traveler. Anything you want to know about France, you just ask.
She's got
ask
it.
Bridget.
And part of Germany.
part of Germany.
She knows Germany now too.
Okay. Kate, can she ask another question?
Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
That's why we're here, okay? It's here to give you guys a sense of how easy this really is to communicate with your guides. And the steps in getting there, my guided journey, will bring you back so that you can do this too. All right? Okay, Ray. What do we
Okay. Sure. You can ask another question? Yes. Renee Martin. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Renee.
What do my guides say? How can I acquire some money very quickly?
Okay, now who's asking?
Renee.
Okay, Renee, your spirit guides and angels are here with us now, and they're going to answer that question for you. And here they go.
Look for anything and everything you can sell and turn into extra money. Depends on how much you need.
Yeah, it does depend on how much you need, but what they see is they see you shedding some of the, burden you have, and you've got it there. If you need it quickly, get it on, a garage sale or whatever, right, Ray?
I'm the king of garage sales.
Oh man, Jesus.
I mean, we did that. We were overextended,
Yeah,
and we sold everything.
yeah, we did.
We sold. How long did it take us to sell everything?
Oh God, like 7 years. It was
7
ridiculous.
years.
It was so much stuff. It was so stupid. That won't be happening again.
No, you don't need multiple
We got
multiple
together.
houses. And
We got together though.
5 cars.
We got married 13 years ago, and so
Seems like
we
yesterday.
combined assets, and so then we had a lot more stuff, right? And then things started changing, and we were moving into this project together, Ray and I, and it was just in the way. It was one distraction after another, right? Something broke. Fix the toilet. The this, the that.
The roof's leaking.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
2 months later, honey, the roof's leaking again.
I just fixed that.
2 months later, honey, the roof's leaking again.
It was nonstop. So it was always something. So it's just, you have to move that stuff out of the way that clogs up your pipes, clogs up your life, you know.
But people don't realize how much stuff they have accumulated until, I mean, it got to be a pattern with me that everything I picked up in the house, I would look at it and I would go, garage sale, you know, Craigslist or Goodwill.
I know, but it got us through it, Ray. You know, what else do we have?
We have people who tell us how wonderful we are. Look at this. Can you believe this? Renee, okay, so you did that one. Kate has another question. We'll get back to your question. Natalie Chapman joined us, and Natalie says she loves us.
Natalie, we love you back. We love all of you guys.
You're like our family.
You guys are.
The family we love.
Oh.
Kate would like to know if she is communicating with my guides correctly.
Okay. That's an interesting question, Kate. You know, you're going to know when you take the journey in part 2 of my guided journey, but we're going to have your guides talk to you about that right now. And
here
they go.
Yeah, let me get back down here. It's Kate.
Okay. Here they go. Yeah. Feel that breath? Always breathe, you guys, when you ask the question and you anticipate the answer, breathe it in. Let them through. Oops, sorry, Ray.
Kate, if you follow the steps we outlined in our opening message, you will be on the right course to communicate with us. However, there are other ways we communicate, like your dreams. Do you remember them? Because we are in them. Write down your dreams or write down questions before you go to bed and listen for the answers in your dreams or first thing the next morning. We communicate with you when your mind is still, when you're falling asleep, when you are daydreaming, when you find some quiet time, which is very important. It's the quiet time most people miss in their lives. They haven't had any since the last time their parents put them into timeout.
Okay, so what did they say to her? When they were talking about the opening, were they talking about the opening message to everybody?
Yeah, the opening message where they outlined like 5 or 6 things.
That was in the opening message, right, Ray?
Right.
At the beginning of our session today, when we started at 6 o'clock, Kate, re-listen to this video and
write it down.
And you're going to hear their opening message to everybody. And you're going to hear the step-by-step process they talked about. You want to go and listen to that and write it into part 3 of your journal. So you've got it there as a baseline, all right, for how they talk to you, how they communicate to you, how they reach you, how you know it's them.
Okay. Mimi says hi. Mimi have a question? Bridget have a question?
Hi, you guys. Bridget, I know Bridget has a question. I know she does.
Teresa says it was her pleasure to write the review.
Yeah, well, it was excellent.
Not only was it an excellent review, Teresa is an excellent writer.
Yeah, you really are. Yep.
Natalie Chapman, I want to ask my guides about my relationship. Me and Dane, my baby's father, have had communication problems, and our sex life ain't been that good. Should we go see Let's cut off here. Ina. Should we go see? Is Ina a person, or did we get cut off there? Communication problems.
Okay, we can go with that.
Okay, we can work from there.
Okay, so your spirit guides and angels are going to answer you on that, and say the name again.
It's Natalie Chapman.
Natalie. And here they go, Natalie.
The toughest thing in a relationship is to communicate and do it without compromising any of your values. Many people, when they run into a bumpy patch in their relationship, start to compromise in order to continue the relationship. It's never a good idea to compromise or give in to the other person's demands against your will, against your better guidance. Compromise only leads to one thing down the road, and that is regrets. And if either party is lying to the other one, then the regrets have already started.
All right. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to know? You're going to start writing into your journal in part 3 what you're feeling. Okay, I don't mean what you're thinking, how you feel like maybe you're a victim, like there's no hope for you, there's no chance for you, nobody's going to want you, all these kind of feelings, okay? And maybe even your husband, he doesn't want you anymore. All those lower level thinking type feelings, emotional, it's emotions. Those are emotions. You can't trust any of that. You've got to come back over here. You've got to come from your knowingness, because you still have that, and trusting your feelings. Your feelings. This is your truth center. You've got to start cleaning up what's going on in your head so you can see it for what it is. All right? Are you ready to see what's going on in your life for what it is? When you are ready for that, this is going to work really well. Your knowingness and your truth center is going to just give it all to you. Because in that knowingness that you were when you came in, is also where your guidance is and where they point you in a certain direction. All right? That's just the way it is. That's what is. That's the truth. That's all there is. Love and truth. Okay? You take that information. Do not go over here and get mucked up in the world that you've been mucked up in. It's not helping you. It's not answering your questions. It's not serving you. All right? Over here, when you take a look at this, do your best to see this for what it is. Stay out here. Stay outside of it. Don't get in it. You can't fix anything by going where it's at. You can't go in it and help it. When you become one with it, it's not going to work. You've got to look at it. You've got to listen to your truth center and trust your knowingness and see it from this higher place in you, your higher self. And you need to report in part 3 what you saw. And it may not always be real clear because you're still working on that, okay? You're still learning how to come back and be in the present moment in this world, okay? But not being sucked into it, all right? That's when you're going to find out what's really going on. You already know. You already know what's going on. And then when you see what's going on, you can, and write it in there, you can then look at it like this, because it's not right here. It's not like, and it has a hold of you. You can then go, oh, I need to write more about seeing it this way. Maybe for a week, maybe for a month, maybe a couple of months. I need to keep writing it in here so I'm sure that I'm seeing this with clarity. And then after a while, a couple months at the most, you're going to be able to know what to do. Can you fix this? Is your partner capable of being a partner? I mean a partner, okay? Or is he just, clueless about how this works, or he's just in this world and he just thinks you just go from one thing to the other and he doesn't think at all. He's not conscious. But is he willing to be conscious? You can ask yourself, once you're conscious and you know what's going on, you can then see if he's game for being conscious with you. It's the only way that you guys can move on and move forward and have something that you can build on. All right?
As a little follow-up here, Natalie said she gets very paranoid, thinking that people are going to poison her and that her husband's cheating on her.
Okay. You are in this world and you aren't sure. It doesn't feel good, for starters. But you're not sure if you can really trust everything that you're feeling. This is going to clear it up. This is going to do it. Because once you actually work in here, and you write it in here, and you write it in here, and you write it in here, you date it, you write fill out the little boxes, you have a place where you were able to later on go back and observe what happened here. Okay, and in the beginning, as you're writing, it's going to be more filled up with this drama and this trauma and chaos that you're in. But when you have it written down, and you look at it a couple weeks or a couple days later, you go, oh yeah, I'm not writing anything here that's doing me any good. I'm not writing anything here that's clear, that's from who I am, not what I'm sucked into here, but who I am and what I know. And what I know is true, what I feel, okay, the truth. When I mix in what I know from clarity into my truth center, and I can calmly write that in and know what that is, it may make me cry. It may hurt my feelings, some of it, all right? But I gotta know. I have to know from a clear state of mind what is really going on. I can't ask anybody in my life to tell me the truth. But I know the truth, and I know Linda's right. I know that truth is in me, and I got it. But it's all mucked up in this world. I got to get the muck off of it so I can truly see it, all right?
A lot of times what I would do is, if I was in a situation where, like, maybe I thought my spouse was cheating on me.
Really, Ray?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can relate to that one. I can relate to that one with a bunch of spouses.
Or at least girlfriends, right, Ray?
Yeah, girlfriends. Well, that didn't count,
Those don't.
I was a musician then. I had a lot of girlfriends.
Oh, I know he did.
That's another life, though. We won't bring that up.
So where were you going with that, Ray?
Well, I'm saying, if you go back to the beginning of any relationship and you write down, how was it at the beginning? How was it between the two of you in the beginning? How did you feel about this? What were the fun things that you did? And how is it different now? And how do you feel different now? And just talk to each other about that. Are we ever going to have a relationship like that again when we were, flying high?
Yeah. But if it turns out that he is having an affair, okay, or he's with other women, how honest can you be when you're already dishonest?
Right.
You're already not a credible source, even for yourself.
You're lying to yourself just by having the affair.
This is interesting. I'll share this with you guys, and I think it's in Guided. I'm pretty sure and I know it's in Guided. In case you guys haven't don't know about my flagship book, Guided.
Yeah, she wrote a book. It's called Guided.
This is an amazing book. In Guided, I talk about the time when I was, that my spouse was having an affair. My first marriage. I was married twice before Ray, and Ray was married twice before me. So we're even, right?
We're even.
Anyway, it was my first marriage. I was in my 20s, and I found out all kinds of stuff he was doing. Cheating on me I thought it was the thing, but it turned out to be a minor problem compared to everything else he was doing.
He was buying his girlfriend's Corvettes.
I know, and it was a bunch of stuff, but anyway, crazy. The guides came through. My heart was broken, and they came through, and I had found out about it maybe a week before. I'm driving somewhere. Of course, the guides come through a lot when you're driving, right? And they came through and they said, he didn't cheat on you, Linda. He cheated on himself. I was like instantly released. I mean, that's what I mean. When you clear up and you connect, you're going to get the information all the time. And could I handle that? Could I say, okay, I'm going to get this information that he didn't cheat on me, he cheated on himself? Wow. I mean, that's his problem. So that's really what it comes down to. It's really not your problem at all. You weren't the one that snuck around and lowered your standards and your values to do something sleazy. You didn't do it. So there was nothing for me to feel bad about. It was like, release it, move on, let go. It's real simple. The guides keep it real simple, you guys. But you have to be able to handle the truth. Okay? And you know what? You can. What do we have?
Okay. We have a few more things. Sarah G. joined. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Natalie. Okay, we get that one. Kate said thank you. Wow. She's going to go back and review, and she said she's going to have a yard sale. She's going to make some extra money.
Oh, that's what to do,
if
kiddo.
you need to know about a yard sale.
Oh. You don't want to relive it now, do you?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. But good.
Okay, Melanie. She's the one that's diagnosed with CRPS.
Okay.
And they came through and they told her about her health.
Okay, Ray.
To watch her health.
Right.
Is a progressive degenerative disease. As I was practicing with her board and asking the question, what is the most important thing for her to know right now, the guides spelled out RIPM, her first initial. Okay? This has made me scared all week, and I can't seem to get any answers from my guides. Could you please ask what this meant?
I got the answer already.
Right.
Okay, I'll let your guides tell you, but I already know what they're telling you, and it's not at all what you think it is. All right?
You are afraid of the diagnosis, not the disease. You feel that a diagnosis is a sentence when it's not. So many people get diagnosed with something and that becomes part of their identity as a victim of this life. You must not believe that your disease is terminal. You must research on your own everything others have done who got this diagnosis.
Right. And the RIP was for you to rest and be in peace. It wasn't about, the Grim Reaper at all. It was about slow down, relax, don't panic,
Right.
okay, and move through this, okay? There's, everything in our lives, you guys, whatever card we're dealt, okay, that's what that is. That's a card you're dealt. Whatever card we're dealt is supposed to be something that we are challenged with, that makes us into a better person, better than we were before we got here. Something in it. There's some magic in this that makes you a better person, clears things up for you, all right? Lets you even, it could be something that you overcome entirely. And you show it to other people. Look, you don't need, this is not, you're not fated with this thing. This is what I've done. This is what I learned. This is how it works. And you figure something out, all right? So every card you're dealt, good cards, medium good, kind of good, really okay, and not so good, terrible, I don't know. Whatever they are, they're all there. Is no accident that you got that card or that experience, that challenge, whatever, that we are supposed to all go through, okay? I know it. I've lived enough years to know this. Yeah.
I have a good example.
Yeah.
How was it been 3 years now? I was in a car accident and got T-boned in the driver's door and messed up my legs.
And Ray got what's called drop foot.
Yeah, nerve damage down my legs and drop foot, and I went to all these doctors.
They said there's no hope for you.
Nope, it'll be there for the rest of your life. And I said, no, it's not going to be there for the rest of my life. And I have done everything I can think of to bring it back, and it's back 90%.
Yeah, he's almost back now. So those, there's so much the doctors don't know.
They don't understand the spiritual part of healing.
They don't. Yeah.
Every disease has a spiritual component.
Yeah. What happens is the body, as a last resort, something will flare up, and that will be that's the ultimate. Okay, you didn't listen this way, you didn't listen that way, we tried to reach you this way and that way, and this is something you intended to work through in this lifetime. And your guides are relentless about seeing that you lived the life you intended before you got here, got the answers you came for. Because you guys, this is not all there is. This is the most beautiful part of it. There's where you came from. This is one big continuum, all right? There's where you came from, and there's this part in between, all right, this life. And then when you've completed what you came here to do, you just journey on. And you go back to where you came from. But you don't go back the same way you came in. You go back as somebody who's more than that person who came here in this lifetime, all right? And the more that you connect with being conscious and understanding the bigger picture, okay, which hopefully we can grasp while we're here, those cards were dealt. They're all perfectly designed to evolve each and every one of us and give us what we're ready for. So whatever you do, stop letting this life scare you, okay? Because it's not supposed to be doing that. That's not the experience you came here for. So the doctor told you have this. Okay, well, what is this? He's going to tell me what he knows, but he graduated from school like 20 years ago.
Hasn't opened a book since.
Yeah. So guys, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on that they're absolutely unaware of. All right. So.
Okay, a couple more things, and then we're getting near the end here. Okay. I saw another question in here. Bridget.
Good.
Do the guides have a message for her? And they had a funny comment here from Teresa. She calls her getting rid of things. When you sell things, you get rid of all the stuff. She calls it Project Jettison.
Oh, that's
it's an ongoing project.
Yeah.
Project Jettison.
Yeah. You hopefully don't take in as much as you need to get rid of. I tell you, I'm so.
That's where these tiny houses come in handy.
Oh man, I don't need it. I just personally, I'm so done with having stuff. It just gets in my way. It actually makes me angry because even when you buy stuff now, you guys, have you noticed? It's all got a short life. Every bit of it's made
like crap.
It's terrible. And they don't stand behind it, or the company goes broke, or everybody's just okay. What is the question? The other question, Ray?
Bridget wants to know if her guys have a message for her.
Yep. And that's a perfect question, Bridget. And here they go.
We see you planning your next trip somewhere cold but beautiful.
Feedback, Bridget. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you going next?
Yeah, tell.
Bridget's a world traveler, photographer.
She's learning a lot.
She has some great pictures up on her Facebook page from her last trip.
And she's got a new life.
New life.
Okay. So what else do we have, Ray?
That's it. Let's see here.
And we're waiting for that feedback, Bridget.
Yep. I think we got everything.
Okay.
We covered everything.
So what we're going to do, and we're still waiting for that feedback, Bridget, okay? I'm going to move through this. Because the guides are going to close this session with their closing message to all of you, all right? But before that, I'm going to talk about what we're going to do next week. Tuesday, next week, same place, same time, on March 27th, here on Facebook Live. That's when you can speak to your guides on Tuesday with Linda Deir and Ray Hawley and the guides, all right? 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The guides will be talking about what kind of journey are you on? Is your journey one of panic, fear, and being in a hurry? Is it a journey of achievement and rushing to finish things? A journey of racing from one deadline to the next? The question is, are you running to get somewhere, or are you running away from something? What is it you are avoiding in your life? Who exactly is it you are competing with when you say you are trying to get ahead? Why do you want to hurry through your life? The finish line will come soon enough. Do you really want your life to be finished before you get a chance to live it? And that's going to be the guidance that they're going to talk about next week on Tuesday. So anything that you guys have to talk about regarding that subject, okay, and you can read about it in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights. Make sure you sign up for it on my website if you're not already getting it, because you'll have the insight on that by the time we go into session that night. Right?
Tuesday morning. It'll be waiting for you in your email box Tuesday morning.
But you have to sign up to receive it, okay? So, Ray, what do you think about that idea of
of
what we're going to talk about next week?
I like that idea because I think
what is your journey about? What is this? What kind of journey are you on?
Well, I'm not on a fast journey. When I go out, we just moved to Phoenix, 2 years ago, from a small town where everything was on one street, but down here, everybody seems to be in a hurry.
They are.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the time of day. Doesn't matter, the speed limit's 45, they're doing 75 and zipping in and out of people, and you just wonder what they're in a hurry for. Where are they going? What's so important?
Well, when we find ourselves in a hurry, it's like nervous energy.
Right.
We always feel short on something, short on time, short on energy, short on money, short on something, okay?
Short on patience,
and
sounds like.
On patience is huge. And if you're not short on patience, then everyone around you seems to be. So how do you dodge that? How do you manage to get through that just in the course of a day? Your guides see what we're all doing and say, okay, you guys need to, you know what you need to do. I'm just telling you that when you start to track it in My Guided Journey in part 3, the journal writing, and you start writing down just where you are right now. Forget about it being guidance. Forget about it being a dream. Forget about, where it came from and how to decipher what's what. Just write down what seems to be needing course correction in your own life. Start there, all right? And when you write that in there, you know what you're going to do? The guidance is all right there. They're going, okay, we have a clear question from Jane, from, whoever, because she took the time to write it down in her journal. We saw her do it, we saw her write it down, and we saw the intention with which she wrote it. All right? And she did it quietly, she did it peacefully, and she needs the answer. And she's going to get that answer. And it's going to just start to become an ebb and a flow, an ebb and a flow. You write the question down, you get the answer. You got to write the answer down after you wrote the question, or you won't relate the answer to the question. You'll look at and you'll go, what? That's the answer to that question? And then you go to sleep and wake up and look at it again and go, oh, now I see what they meant by that answer. Now I see it, but you can't see it until you write it down. You got to write it down. So that's the whole point to that, all right?
You miss it. It's kind of like your grocery list. If you don't write it down, you come back and you go, oh, I forgot to get,
Ray's too much. Ray's the hunter and gatherer. I never go shopping. He takes care of all that. Thank God.
Linda hardly ever leaves the house.
I must have asked for that, right? At some point, I must have said, universe, guides, everybody, I need somebody who loves to do it, not just will do it.
Now, if he could cook after he brought it all home.
I'm okay with that part,
Yeah, Linda hardly ever leaves the house. She's always working on the next book or working on something. And
and answering fan mail and everybody, Ray.
Right.
I can't let them flounder, and I won't.
I got her to leave the house, yesterday or Sunday?
Yeah.
To go to Costco. It was like a Linda sighting at Costco.
Oh, man. So anyway, you guys, we're going to close this session.
Right, but before this is funny.
Oh, yeah.
Bridget. They said
Bridget.
she was planning her next trip someplace cold.
Yeah.
She says she's planning to go to Iceland.
So do you see, you guys, we don't know what your guides are ever going to tell you. This is just like having a coaching session with me, except it's one-on-one with you, all right? And then Bridget would ask other questions about having that trip, taking that trip to Iceland. By the way, I think Iceland's an amazing place. I love that place. We want to go to Iceland.
I want to learn how to do that curling thing.
But it's a cool country.
It is.
Yeah.
They have the most pure gene pool in the world.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, Bridget's guides would just talk to her about that trip, and how to plan it and how to manage, putting it together and what kind of time frame and how long and everything, all the details about it. So that's how the coaching sessions work. Just so you guys know what to expect. But the guides know, they know you guys, and they've been trying to reach you. And you've just been busy, you've been preoccupied and distracted with a lot of things. And that's how this is going to work for you. This is going to get you back in sync with that guidance. Just start writing. Don't worry. Don't critique yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't criticize your writing. You're a beautiful writer. You just start writing from where you are right now and let it work itself out. Part 2 of My Guided Journey will get you in sync with the right mindset to do your writing. So trust that part 2 is going to take care of it while you're working through you get this idea or you think this thought, write it into part 3 while you're taking the journey in part 2. All right? Because it will take care of itself. It really will.
Okay. And Melanie says, thank you for the encouragement. She's going to start focusing on her health and getting back to a normal, full active life, such as swimming, hiking, camping, etc.
Yes.
That's right. You got a diagnosis. You didn't get a sentence.
Yes. And you need to do your own homework.
Right.
And as you're doing it, write down where you are right now in part 3, okay? Write down what it felt like to get that diagnosis. Write it down so you can remember down the road how you'll look back at that and go, oh my gosh, I let that overwhelm me, and it was so untrue. I overkilled the thing, So you write it down, and you see your progression as you move through your life, and you start to see how you're doing better because you're making the connection, because you know you're not alone, because you're in this together with your guides, all right? Yeah.
And Bridget thinks maybe she should get a job before she does more traveling. Maybe your job should be traveling.
Yeah, we've said that before. That's right.
Go teach those people in Iceland how to speak English. Right?
Yeah. You know, Bridget, I'm going to run this by you. You might want to look into different sites where people are traveling to Iceland. There might be somebody who's traveling to Iceland who needs somebody to assist them. I mean, they may be like really wealthy, and they don't have anybody.
And single.
Or whatever. It could be just somebody who wants to, they want to enjoy their life.
They don't want to go alone.
They don't want to go alone. They want to go with somebody who's kind, and just look around. Just keep it this way. When you look around, when you look at things and you consider things, your chin's down, right? Lift your chin up and really look around and see what's really out there. And you'll run across something that will support you 100%.
Somebody might want to pay your way.
Hello, Ray. That's right. So I'm just saying, and the offset is, you take them to see things, and that's pretty cool for you to see too. And then, they rest some of the time so you can go off and gallivant around on your own. And you just have to think about doing things differently to have what you want, because it's out there for everybody. There's no reason why we can't have what we want. We just have to be more open to what's out there and investigate. Look out there. You guys, we have the internet. What an invention. That lets you find out everything you need to know. And Bridget's a darling woman. So anybody would love, under conditions like that, to have you on their side. I know that. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to close the session with the guide's closing message. This is all of your guides, and that collective is drawing in the message that's specific to you as a group. Okay, and here they go.
Be open for more. Be open for a miracle. If you expect to get what you expected to get, you have missed the whole point.
And when they say a miracle, what they're talking about, they've said this before. It's been a little while, but they've said this before. They say, we experience the guides. They say, we experience what you guys call miracles every day. Every day. All the time. You guys, you should expect great things to happen. You should expect guidance to point you in a direction, and it turns out amazing, okay? Not be afraid of it. The only thing that would cause you to choke up and resist it would be you don't feel like you're driving the car. But you know what? You haven't been. You've just been forcing the issue. You've been making it happen. You've been working really hard at it. If you're doing any of those things, you completely missed it. You're missing it all the time. The miracles are always there.
Right. And you're driving the car, but people drive that's a good analogy. They're driving the car, but they treat their guides like a spare tire and bringing them out when they need them instead of the steering wheel.
Right. When they're in panic mode.
Right.
Then they ask for guidance when they're almost out of breath. All right. Out of gas. And they're not a spare tire. They're not a last resort. They're a first resort.
They're the engine.
They are, man. They are.
Okay.
So we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right.
Okay. Good night.
Get those questions ready for next week.